Hi everyone. So once again, I'm apologizing for the air conditioner and the lighting. It's been very hot in Washington. Last night when I went to bed, it was 78 degrees in the house with the air conditioner. So you can imagine how hot it's been. So I apologize for the noise and the lighting. But um, today I want to talk to you about anxiety, and this isn't an all Christian video. Um, I usually warn you if it is, so that if it's not something you want to watch, then you don't get all the way into it and figure out that it's all Christian. I don't normally say the verses. If you need verses to support anything I'm talking about, I usually put them in the description down below, or you can message me here on YouTube or reach me on Facebook at HM Pointer. So, anyway, today, anxiety. There's a lot of people who don't even realize that they have anxiety. I figured out that I've had it most of my life. And I didn't know it, but it's the way that I dealt with it is the reason I didn't know it. But I can see times in my life when I overreacted to things that were probably times that I was really anxious, and that's one of the signs. If you're overreacting to small situations, then sometimes you're at an anxiety level that should be noticed. That's times you should be taking a breath. You're overstressed. And those are the times that you should realize that you're overwhelmed. That's normally another feeling that you have when you have anxiety. Um, but it's dealing with it. There's a lot of people who have it. And I've watched people have panic attacks and not deal with things very well. They've had to pull over, they've had to stop what they're doing and leave the room and things like that. And sometimes it's just a simple anxiety issue. There's too much on their mind, there's too much going on, or they don't know how to deal with the level of stress that they're at the moment. And that will cause them to be in a position where they don't understand anything that's going on. Suddenly, it's like the computer brain that you have is suddenly frozen. When those things start happening to you, I'm a list person, so I do make a lot of lists because that takes some of that off of my brain. But most of the time, I will stop myself, and even when I've already overreacted, I will stop and take a deep breath and realize I'm overreacting and realize that I'm stressed or overwhelmed. And I'll breathe and I'll just say, just give me a minute to process all of this. It's really hard to teach people to not be anxious, especially in society today where we're dealing with the virus, we're dealing with government issues, we're dealing with fake news, we're dealing with real news, we're dealing with all kinds of things, and sometimes we just have no idea what's going on. So there's people who even are home alone in their houses because they're afraid, and yeah, fear is a life killer. So there's another video about that. But there's people who are sitting in their houses having anxiety attacks just looking at the internet or just thinking about everything they want to get done that they can't get done. And being able to get through those things is really difficult. Being able to teach someone how to get through those things is really difficult. I can only share with you what I know about me and what I've been taught. I do have a degree in sociology. I also have a master's in divinity. So um, I have tools to do those things and to teach people. But it's ultimately you that has to pay attention. I can look at people and I can tell that they're having an anxiety attack, but if I tell them they're having an anxiety attack, that's just another thing on their list that they need to deal with. And they don't always hear me. So, I mean, when you're around someone with an anxiety attack, the best thing to do is just to take a deep breath for them and be calm and just wait for them to answer or wait for them to get through it. Because what we do when we're around them will affect them. If we're constantly piling things on or screaming and yelling because we want this answer right now, it's not going to help them with that anxiety attack. I do take Benadryl, and it's been shown now that some anxiety attacks are caused from allergies. And it's because the breathing, like me today with my allergies, my nose is very congested. And when I talk, it's harder for me to take a breath because I'm talking, obviously. But stopping, pausing, taking a deep breath, and realizing that I'm okay, that I can breathe, that I can slow down, helps me. And so sometimes when I don't have a chance to do that, I will take a Benadryl because it helps with the congestion. It helps to slow things down a bit so that you can be calmer. But if you're around someone with an anxiety issue, then being calm is the best thing that you can do for them, helping them through that by reflecting that calmness into the world around them and being a center for them and being a grounding point for them where they can look at you and see you're calm and not overreacting or not having an issue will help them to find that center. And that's another important point with anxiety attacks. With mine, sometimes my heart starts to race, and it's scary, especially as you get older, when you realize that that can be a problem. Finding something to center on, like breathing or touching something that's solid and not moving, it helps you to recenter and gain control of something that is controllable when you're feeling uncontrollable. So hopefully that helps you. I turn to my Bible, but not everyone is going to do that. I turn to God sometimes when it's completely out of control. I've actually stopped and taken my pulse. I have rib issues because of my disability. I was crushed, twisted, and pulled in half in a warehouse accident. So I have 3 or 4 ribs that are displaced. They're like twisted the wrong direction. So when they decide to go out and all that cramping in my chest, it's in the center of my chest, so it's my heart area. So sometimes that gets scary. And I have a stethoscope. I actually listen to my heart and I listen to my heartbeats. And that helps me recenter when that gets out of control. That can help you with an anxiety attack also. If you're listening to your heart, if you're taking your pulse, if you're realizing it's elevated and breathing to slow it down, that helps also. So hopefully there's something in this video that will help you or to help someone around you. And that's what I pray for you this week in Jesus' name, is that you find ways to center. You find ways to realize it's just anxiety and how to deal with things that are overwhelming you. In Jesus' name, I hope that you find a way to help those around you with their own anxiety and to help relieve some of the stress that this world is causing for others. In Jesus' name. And as always, believe and make it so.